Pretty, long hair.
They're all concerned about their looks, you know? It's always about the next vibe or the next thing on Instagram or on Facebook. It's
empathetic, emotional,
pretty, smart, and loving.
Complicated and caring, strong.
So I'd say strong and independent and confusing.
When kids are little, the only way you can describe them is most people prefer to put girls in pink and boys in blue.
They're softer and they're nice.
Crazy and moody.
Tricky, helpless, overbearing.
I would think for the most part they'd describe her as cute or pretty or sexy or probably petite. A lot of men like petite women.
Anytime that a girl is strong or expresses her opinion, or has a strong opinion, I think that gets twisted to. It's not always seen as a good thing. Not necessarily what a quality that boys look for.
Constantly, because of the way I dress and because I'm a girl, I get judged constantly because it's not feminine as far as society is concerned. But it makes me feel comfortable, so I do it. And once people get to know me, I think they like me better than just from the original first look or take.
growing up in the 50s, 60s, even early 70s, it was, you know, I mean, there was the civil rights movement in the 60s, but there wasn't really a push for, you know, gender equality and things like that until the 70s. And I mean, so they came up through all their formative years with really clearly defined gender roles. I mean, you can look at advertising or anything from the 1950s and 60s and just, it's like a caricature of what you would think of as sort of antiquated gender thoughts. But that's how I mean, that's sort of how it was. I mean, especially that baby boom generation, the goal was to have you know, a house and 2.1 kids, and you know, dad works, mom stays at home. So I think really for people like me who were born, I mean, I was 81, but anybody born late 70s, early 80s got to sort of live through the transition of all of it, and watch it happen.
Back when I was in college, the only thing that I remember that Akron U had was nursing for women and teaching. And I'm sure there were some other things, but I've thought about it a lot, and I still to this day don't know what they were. And I really was not natured to either one of those things. I knew I didn't want to be a nurse. And I thought, well, everybody's going to be a teacher, I'll be a teacher. But that was so not me. And I think I would have done much better in something that was a little bit more of a man's field, like journalism or editorials or something like that. And so it greatly affected us. And back when I was in high school, well, all the way through school, even up until second year of college, third year of college, we had to wear, it was required to wear dresses or skirts. We couldn't wear pants or slacks or shorts, except when we were doing outside functions of school, but we had to wear dresses to school. And we wore very, very, very short skirts, way shorter than they do now. It was in the high boots a lot of times, but very short skirts, and that was very gender specific. I mean, there we were just, you know, out there. And when you sat down, you really, I don't think you could even cross your legs because it showed too much hip, and you had to just sit there, you know, just all crunched together.
Grew up in the era where Women were supposed to stay home, and the men were supposed to make the living. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Guys will say that because they think that women are inferior athletically. And they don't realize that that's because they're generally not as strong. But there's some things that women athletes can do that men can't.
Because they didn't hit hard, because you wouldn't think a little girl could hit hard. Same thing with throwing. I've told people they throw like a girl.
Growing up, I'm sure I told somebody that they threw like a girl in a bad context, but you know, I think you know, that lexicon wouldn't exist right now in my brain, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you supposedly are not very coordinated and you don't hit very hard, and you're busy being cute maybe and acting cute instead of being serious.
Because girls are good at hitting.
We're really just concerned about, you know, getting through school, or really just getting through life, I guess. I mean, we just want to have a fun time. It's just boys talk about boy things and girls talk about girl things. I mean, I know it's about their looks, so something to do with makeup or design. I want to be an electrical engineer. I also have, I like working out, so maybe a physical trainer. Something that will get me a good pay. And I know one of my friends, he wants to be a game designer. And then another one of my friends is completely different. He wants to get out there and just be a business person.
I think I've tried to make my girls very strong and independent, and to know that they can do anything they want to do. I've tried to expose them to everything. When they were little, I didn't do pink or blue, or, you know, I had cars and dolls, both. You know, I've tried to make them strong and realize they can do anything they want to do.
Cosmetology, maybe. Teacher, auto mechanic, carpenter, farmer. I don't want to get greasy, and not a lot of women that I've ever met or seen or been around like auto mechanics. Or as far as a lawyer, I feel that a woman would not be taken as seriously in a courtroom or in a legal situation. A man's going to be listened to, and his word's going to be taken more seriously than a woman's. I had to do a lot outside, yard work, mowing the yard, splitting wood, whatever, where she really didn't have to do anything, because I'm the boy and she was the girl.
Strong. Running. Swimming. Gymnastics, dance, jump rope, hula hoop, paint, do hair, be a teacher, be a gymnastics teacher, be a fireman.
I wanted to show people that you don't raise boys and girls any differently. And I really believe that. But now I see people with boys, and I think you do tend to raise boys differently. You're a little rougher with boys, just a little like shake it off type thing. If they fall or get hurt or anything, you'll be okay, bud. And you just act rougher to them. You throw them up in the air harder, or you play harder with them. You expect them, I think, to do rougher games. If they say they want to play ice hockey, or if they want to play football. Yes, I have been told that a lot. And which brings up, that's a good point, is my girls have always been athletic. And Shannon especially, because it was a longer ago time, people would say, oh, she's such a tomboy. And I thought, first of all, what does that mean? And second of all, what's wrong with her playing sports, and why does that make it a boy thing? Because you like to play rough and tough? Because it's more feminine, and that's the stereotype that we're supposed to be. And I think you get used to that, and you're raised to that, and you don't think anything about it.
I want. How would you describe women?
Women, in general,
Yep, just characteristics.
well, are different than men. They, can't say what you could say to a man, to a woman, and they're softer, and they have a different disposition, and they're nice. Yeah.
And how would you describe men?
Men are generally pretty obnoxious and don't have too many men friends, maybe one or two, but that's about it.
Okay. And have you ever, this everyone said yes, so don't worry if you have you ever said to a girl or anyone that you tell them that you hit like a girl?
That you do what?
That you hit like a girl?
No.
You haven't. Did a lot of people,
I've heard the expression, throw like a girl.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why do people say that?
They say that because they think, guys will say that because they think that women are inferior athletically. And they don't realize that that's because they're generally not as strong. But there's some things that women athletes can do that men can. So it kind of all evens out.
Okay. And how would you say that gender roles affected your generation?
Oh, greatly. Because I grew up in the era where women were supposed to stay home and the men were supposed to make the living. But see, that didn't always work out because my mother made the living and my father basically was out of the picture. So if she didn't make the living, then I wouldn't be here today.
All right, that'll work. Thank you.
To say you don't is probably giving yourself too much credit. I say I try not to. Try to be just as tough on my daughter as I am on my son. Try to make sure my daughter thinks she can conquer the world just as much as I would impart that to my son. I think there are subtle things that pop up that there are certain differences. I mean, for instance, if my son were to tackle a girl in his class, I'd have a far more visceral reaction than if my daughter tackled a boy. It's just so there are differences I can't get around, and I'm never going to do so. But that's just one example. That stuff can pop up in other ways and manifest itself in more subtle ways than that. So there's always going to be a difference, even if I try not to.